Welcome back to the channel, everybody. So today we are going to be looking at a new game that just released on Steam, and that is Warplanes WWI Fighters. Now this is not a new title, as it was available on SideQuest for people using Oculus devices, but it is now released for SteamVR users, which opens it up to Windows Mixed Reality, HTC Vive, and the Valve Index. Now, for those of you that are expecting the graphics quality of something like Microsoft Flight Simulator, you are not going to get it here. This is more of an arcade type game, and it is meant for fun rather than its accuracy. Having said that, it can be very challenging, and I did struggle quite a bit when you change from arcade, which is throwing a lot of assists in there and helping you out quite a bit, all the way up to realistic, where it is actually very realistic, and the profile used for flight accurately models what it would be like to fly one of these fighters back in the day. So when you first start the game, you are greeted with a book that you open up where you can choose the different campaigns. Once you select which side you want to be, you are presented with a bunch of different levels of difficulty, and that ranges from the realistic, where there are no assists, it doesn't help you aim, it doesn't show you where the enemies are, and the flight characteristics are very accurate, all the way down to a more arcade type shooter where everything's kind of laid out for you. You just fly around and shoot with relative ease. Now at this time, this game does not support using a HOTAS, even though it is a flying game. I found that a little disappointing, but they did mention it, and they said that they would be working on a HOTAS option in the future. I'm really hoping that that is true. But for now, we are left with using our virtual reality controllers, and it has to be a specific one. This will not work with anything other than what is clearly listed on the game page. Now for me, I was using the HP Reverb G2, and it does say that those controllers are supported, and they were. I have not tried this using the virtual desktop through the Quest 2. I will be trying that in the future, and I would like to know if those controllers do work with it. If they do, go ahead and leave it in the comments. That way you can let everybody watching this video know and hopefully help them out. In order to use those controllers, you have to use a trigger button to grab onto the stick. You can also use your left hand to control the throttle grab bombs, where it kind of tilts the airplane as you're doing bombing runs. That way you can aim where you're going to drop the bomb. And you have the option of grabbing a flare gun, and that is used to set blimps on fire. And it's part of like a secondary objective, where the main objective is typically dogfighting. I did find it a little bit challenging to keep the controller in the general location of where the stick should be in the aircraft as you were dogfighting. I found my hand was going wildly out of the airplane to make turns, especially steep dives and rolls. This of course would be alleviated by using a HOTAS that has a limited amount of travel, but for now it still does work. You just have to be cognizant of where your hand is and try to keep those movements within a certain area. Now if you move up in the different levels of realism, it does let you take off and land the aircraft before and after a mission. I found that was a neat little addition. When you do turn up the realism, you can also stall the aircraft, and I did get caught by that a couple times as you're dogfighting. It will give you an audible warning where the, I guess, co-pilot is telling you, or maybe it's you as the pilot, is saying, hey, we're about to stall. You need to gain some airspeed. That did catch me one time. I stalled the aircraft too low and ended in a crash. So it's just another thing that you have to be aware of while you're playing this game. Now on the side quest version of this game, there were a limited number of missions and planes to purchase, and it wasn't a full fat game. Well, now it is. There is definitely plenty of missions to burn through and a whole plethora of options to upgrade your plane. You can change the colors. You can also purchase new planes by completing missions. There are 3 different types of missions. You have dogfighting, you have a kind of protection where you're protecting a bomber, and you also have where you are bombing a set amount of targets. That's pretty much it for the gameplay. The only thing that changes is who you are, the aircraft that you're flying, and the level of difficulty of the opponent. And because of this, I could see it getting kind of repetitive after quite a bit of use. What I'll be using this game for is just hopping into an aircraft, doing some dogfighting, and then putting it away. The graphics are not the greatest. I mean, the worlds they're visually pleasing, but not very accurate. It does give you a sense that you are up in the air like it should, but it is no match for dedicated simulators where there is a main focus on how things look and how accurate they are. This game is more focused on the dogfighting and aerial combat aspect of things rather than the accuracy of the terrain. And that's okay. For $14.99, you can't expect a full-fledged simulator, and it ends up working out just fine for me. I would absolutely recommend this game for a fun throwback to how it was flying the older style of planes in a dogfighting situation. With the addition of something like the flare gun and the bombing runs, it can prove to be pretty challenging and fun at the same time. So if you want to get your flying fix and shoot some planes down, this is a great game to get. That, of course, is my opinion. Yours may differ, and if it does, let me know in the comments. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, go ahead and hit that like button. And don't forget to subscribe. I will be reviewing more games as they are released. And I hope to see you in the next one.